Hello, moms! I just went live on my personal page to talk about Behold Jesus in Our Words. And now we're going to go a little bit deeper here and talk about Become a Voice of Life. Our words. We use our words every day to speak into our children, and sometimes we can feel really bad for what comes out of our mouths. But we already talked about our hearts being what spills out in our words on my live. But now we're going to dive a little deeper, I guess. If someone only listened to your words this week, what would they learn about your heart? Let's say there was a transcript of your life, and at the end of the week, God gave you that transcript. Would you be highlighting all of the anointed, special, amazing words you said? Or would you be scratching and using whiteout to get rid of all of those words that you don't really want to say but end up saying anyway? Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about now. Yeah. Your words. Your words tell a story that even your appearance can't tell. I don't know if you guys have read this book, The Emperor's New Clothes. Oh, let me put that in here right. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is just a retelling. No, this is a story. What? Why am I fumbling so much here? Okay, this story by Hans Christian Andersen is retold in several different books because we're trying to give lessons to our children that this emperor went through. In this story is the story of an emperor who is convinced that he's wearing the most magnificent outfit ever created. Everyone around him pretends that they can see it because they're too afraid to admit the truth. So he proudly walks through town and leads the parade believing that he looks incredible until the words of a child. Children can be very truthful and sometimes harsh. This child speaks up saying he isn't wearing anything. Like, why are... The kid is probably confused and wondering why is everybody talking about how spectacular his outfit is because he's not wearing any clothes. So he's naked, and this child observes that and says something about it. And that child wasn't trying to embarrass the emperor. He simply spoke the truth, what was there. And while everyone else was busy protecting appearances, the child was willing to tell the truth. And as a mom, you have the same opportunity every day. Your words can either help maintain illusions or they can point people and your kids toward truth. You can speak words that are driven by fear and frustration and comparison, or you can become a voice of life that speaks what is true and what is helpful and God-honoring. The question isn't whether your words have influence, because they do. Your kids are listening to everything you say, even when you stub your toe or when that person cuts you off in traffic. The question is, what kind of influence do they have? Is it a positive influence or a negative one? And your kids, like I said, are listening. Your spouse is listening. The people around you are listening. And long before your words shape anyone else, they reveal what's happening inside of your own heart. That's why becoming a voice of life isn't about choosing better words. It's about allowing Jesus to transform your heart so that life actually naturally flows and overflows from your mouth. When your heart is full of Christ, your words begin to sound different. Instead of criticism, you offer encouragement. Instead of complaint, gratitude comes out. Instead of tearing people down, you start to build people up. Oh boy, then something creeps up in my throat here. I need a little drink. Maybe you should get some water too. Instead of speaking death over situations, you speak truth and hope and grace. And that's what it looks like to become a voice of life. You're not pretending everything is perfect, but you're allowing God's life in you to flow through you. You work really hard to keep everything looking okay on the outside, especially when you're in public. You try to be the nice mom, the mom who has it all together. So when you are mumming or whatever you call it at home, your kids see the real you. You're raw and you shout at different things and you say some things that you don't like, and it happens in the home. But when you have visitors over, or you're taking care of someone else's kid, your words sound different. You watch what you're saying and what you're doing. You try to manage yourself so you don't have outbursts because someone else is there. But our kids and our family are the most important people to us. Those are the people that we need to be watching ourselves for. Those are the people we want to extend God's love to the most. When you're frustrated, the words can come out. When you're disappointed, the words can come out. I know because I've done it. When you're tired, those words come out. When someone disagrees with you, you suddenly have words come out. Your mouth often reveals what your image tries to hide. So I guess what we're saying here is your words are so important. And if you find yourself constantly, day after day, saying words that you are ashamed of or feeling sorry for what words you said, then we need to look deeper. It's your words are revealing what's in your heart already. Stress doesn't create ugly attitudes. It actually reveals them. Like, sometimes we can just say that we are just so stressed. And we are stressed. But that stress doesn't create bad words. It just reveals what's already there. Oh, someone was here live. They have to watch later. That is okay too. You can always watch the replays. Pressure doesn't suddenly make you impatient or bitter or controlling or even angry. Pressure simply squeezes what's already living inside of your heart, and that's what oozes out. And that's exactly why God spends so much time talking about the tongue in the Bible. James 3 says a tiny bit steers a powerful horse. So this humongous, strong horse only needs a little tiny metal bit in its mouth for you to be able to control it and tell it where to go. A small, teeny tiny rudder on a ship directs it. You only need slight movements in the water for that ship to turn course, even though the ship could be big. In the same way, your tiny little tongue has incredible power. James even compares it to a spark that can set an entire forest on fire. Over and over again, the Bible talks about your words, my words, because your words either build up or tear down. Your words bring life or death. They reveal worship, or they reveal idols. In Luke 6:45 he says, "For the mouth speaks from the overflow of the heart." And that is the real issue. Your mouth is a messenger, and your heart is the source. So we need to be focused on transforming our hearts. If bitterness fills your heart, then bitterness eventually fills your words. If comparison fills your heart, then that comparison is going to come out in your words. If fear fills your heart, then fear is eventually going to spill out of your mouth. If control fills your heart, then control eventually fills your words. But if Christ fills your heart, His grace begins to overflow through your speech. And that's incredibly hopeful, because if the problem were only your tongue, you'd spend your life trying harder, trying to get it right, trying to say the right thing, maybe counting to 10 and biting your tongue, trying to sound nicer. But Jesus says that the answer isn't your behavior. It's a transformed heart. So, if you find yourself yelling and shouting at your kids, the answer is work on your heart. It sounds so simple, and I do understand. That's not an easy fix at all. Working on your heart, transforming your heart, that's a deeper thing, and that takes time and effort. But a transformed heart will change your words. And that's why Proverbs 4:23 tells you, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Guard it, protect it, watch over it. Pay attention to what's entering your heart, because whatever fills your heart eventually flows out of your mouth. So now we're at our heart check moment here. We are going to be asking ourselves questions, because we want that heart transformation, and it does take time and effort and honesty. I want you to take a moment and ask yourself these kind of reflection questions. What words have been coming out of my mouth lately? Are they kind? Are they compassionate? Are they snippy? Are they negative? And when I'm under pressure, what seems to overflow first? When that pressure hits, do you react and explode and start shouting things you don't necessarily want to? Do my words bring peace to my home, or more tension? This will tell you how much heart work you need to do. And honestly, we should all be doing heart work, even if our words are kind. We always want to be transforming our heart, and that will just make our words better and better, more Christ-like. Is there bitterness, disappointment, fear, comparison, or control hiding underneath what I've been saying? I get into a rut sometimes with feeling bitterness towards my husband for the littlest of things, and it can really take hold, and then every time I'm thinking about this or that, it's bitterness, it's resentment, so I gotta really slap myself and redirect and focus on my heart again, to remember that I don't need to be bitter. He's on the same team as me. If my words are revealing my heart, what is Jesus inviting me to surrender today? So we are taking a check of what's coming out of our mouths. And what do we need to do in our heart to change what is coming out of our mouth? Be honest with yourself before God, because Jesus isn't trying to expose you to make you feel bad. He's exposing your heart so he can heal it and he can make it more like him. Even Jesus warned about people who honored God with their lips while their hearts remained far from him. God is all about your heart, my heart, our hearts. And he wants what's best for you. He isn't looking for you to have the perfect words, have polished words, and always be praising him, because he knows you live in a broken world. He's actually after a wholehearted surrender. That's what it takes to have the voice of life. And maybe you've spoken words that you wish you could take back. I know I have. Maybe you've been short with your kids. Maybe you've complained more than praising. Maybe you struggle with your inner dialogue. Ooh, that's a tough one. So you aren't actually speaking the words out, but you are internally speaking them to yourself, and they are mean. I know, I struggle with that one. But it is not too late. God is in the business of transforming hearts day by day, moment by moment. Right now, he can take over your heart and your words can change. Conversations can change. As you spend time with Jesus, he doesn't just clean up your vocabulary. He wants something deeper. He changes what fills your heart. And when your heart begins overflowing with his love, his peace, his grace, and his truth, then your words begin to change. So don't just ask God to tame your tongue or take away that word. I don't want to say that word in front of my kids anymore. Okay, well that means you need to change something in your heart. Or maybe you need to stop watching that reality TV show that you've been really enjoying. Or maybe you need to listen to a different kind of music. What are you putting into your heart? And that is what comes out. Ask him to transform your heart, because from the overflow of your heart, your mouth will speak. And we want to speak life into our homes, into our families, and into our kids, and into ourselves. I want to start speaking life into myself, so I need to work on that heart transformation. And we can do it together. That's all for today. Happy connecting, everyone, and I'll see you next week.